And it is playoff time. It's an exciting period. I guess we just got to dive into it. I will say, compared to years past, the final week was a little anticlimactic compared to other years, at least from my perspective. But we'll go into it, and yeah, I will be with you guys. The playoff teams we speak about, I'll be equally as invested. I got one seed, but we got some good playoff teams this year, so I'm just buckling in, trying to get ready. You know how it is. Just absolutely grinding, and it's time to see who's grinding in your league. Wow. You know what? I was looking I was like really hoping for some, crazy drama near the end. And I'll say that I don't feel like we fully got it. We did get a team that deserved probably to make the playoffs, and we went with Jared that misses the cut. Because that 6 seed team, that Dust in the Wind team, said, hey, maybe we didn't show up so much all season. Maybe there's been some luck up to this point, but we are not letting this moment pass. And that's where we'll start because it's the most important matchup. Dust in the Wind had to win to keep their playoff spot in their own control. And that's what happened. Dust in the Wind got 174 points. And again, this is a Dust in the Wind team that I've been very clear I don't believe in. I did say one and done. So, I think the narrative that people are trying to craft as me saying Dust in the Wind won't make the playoffs. This is proof that Rick doesn't know what he's talking about. That's not true. I've been saying the whole way, all season basically, this is a one and done team. And listen, they didn't play like a one and done team. 174 is super strong. You get Hubbard now, who's the guy, especially with Brooks getting rehurt. You have Hubbard, who's the guy. And, you are making the most out of the situation you're dealt. Like a lot of guys that I don't fully believe in, Rashad White being one of them. Of course, I didn't believe in Jaylen Warren, but most people don't. And Jaden Reed gave us a reason to kind of doubt him. I'm not a Mooney guy, even though Mooney had a good week. I don't believe in this team. I just don't believe in this team. Call me a certified hater. I don't believe in this team. This is exactly what I expected. One and done, 6 seed, it makes sense, and I think that's what's going to happen. The Banditos now falls to 7-7, which is the same record as Dust in the Wind. And I've been saying I like Banditos for quite a while, but this week, a little bit of a letdown spot. I don't think there's anyone who laid a complete egg. I also think you were going this week without, Courtland Sutton and Lamar Jackson. That's gonna cost you when you have to start a guy like Patrick Mahomes, unproven quarterback. No, but fantasy just not a stud. And I think this team's just a better team than Dust in the Wind. That you don't have a couple key guys in a week, and Dust in the Wind has a ceiling week, near ceiling week. I think this is what's gonna happen, but you didn't need this one. This is a team that's already making the playoffs no matter what. So that's that game. I think, we could look at a lot of other games. I think almost every game had some form of implication. It's just the one that didn't end up mattering was we went with Jared winning 252 to 152. So we went with Jared proved something, but it was just a little bit too late. And obviously that's pretty unfortunate given, you see where you're at now and you wonder, this could have been something that was special, but it didn't end up being special. Nothing this week that we could say everyone did well. Grendo, obviously a great pickup. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams both go off for you. Puka goes more than off for you. And you just are looking at Josh Allen being the number one quarterback in fantasy and saying, we have every position. What happened? Puka, as we said all season, once he got here, it's a better team. It was too late. And that's really what it came down to. Untouchables finishes a really not embarrassing season. I shouldn't say that. Let's just say embarrassing season, going 4-10. Not a good year for our boy Untouchables. Had a lot to prove this year. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do it. So, yeah, I mean, this is my Dun Chain team, and 4-10, it ends behind. I will say 152. You finished with some valiant efforts, but it just was not enough. So, yeah, we had some significant bye-related games. Team Chef Cesario needed to win this game against Electric, and they do, and they bump Electric out of the bye. They take a bye themselves, winning 139 to 121. Again, we're going through teams lower in the standings that did not do as well most of the season, but they were crushed, these two teams, Electric and Team Chef Cesario, by guys who either aren't making the playoffs or are bubble teams. And you have to expect better play down the stretch. Team Chef Cesario 140, not horrible, but Saquon didn't give you, a ceiling game. A.J. Brown definitely didn't. Debo's been a massive disappointment down the stretch. you have some bright spots, obviously. Juwan Jennings has a really nice game for you. Brock Purdy looking like, as long as it's not bad weather, he could deliver. You have some tougher decisions if Kenneth Walker ends up coming back. Zay Flowers off bye. But it's a team I still love, but obviously this is a week where you pause and you're like, shoot, some teams are really starting to perform. We're going to need to do more. For Team Electric, on the flip side, this is a bit more of a panic situation because you're going to miss the bye now. And you look at James Cook, 3.9, you're upset. Xavier Worthy's 8 points, you're upset. Brock Bowers has an off game, you're upset. Not good defense and kicker contributions, which could have really been the difference, honestly, this game. And you somehow, Electric, a team that was been good all season, falls out of the bye. But when you look at total points, it's kind of fair. This team not only isn't as many points as the top 2 teams, but they also don't have as many points as the team behind them in Banditos. So Electric gets the 3 seed, can't feel cheated, but just has to feel frustrated. And we'll see what happens in their matchup. Then we go to games that also matter because El Grenas gets the second bye because they still are able to get it with a 9-5 record. It ended up coming down to points, and they got 14 more points than Electric to end up getting this. So yes, the loss was tough, but 164 points was the difference for El Grenas. So El Grenas has to view this almost as a win. And who do you attribute a win to? Well, you get a very good week out of CD, Cooper Kupp, Jahmyr Gibbs. But the one guy that really basically on his own got you this bye, Zach Charbonnet. And that's a good handcuff to have. It's a good pickup. It was a smart acquisition, and it's getting you the bye on its own. Pain Train tried to stay relevant with the win. Obviously, we knew it was a big long shot, and that's what ended up happening a couple spots away. A good week. Darnold went off, and you have to be happy in that situation that he does. Tyreek's starting to look like he's clicking at the right moment. And Addison, obviously, also another big week. So that Darnold-Addison combo ends up working out really well for you, but unfortunately, just not enough at this time. Obviously frustrating, but it's just one of those things that it just wasn't the season. We are now behind to the final game, which was, I would say, the least relevant. Crucifier got a win, got to 6-8, but stays in the 9 seed over El Professor, who made the playoffs anyway at 7-7. So really not much to play for in this game in the end either. We'll say with Crucifier, again, and another team ending in a very respectable place. Jamar Chase goes off for him, which is enough to make it a fairly easy win in the end. Joe Burrow for El Professor had a great game, but not many ceiling games outside of that. Your defense gets negative points, obviously concerning, and you just end the season going into playoffs still feeling pretty good that Joe Burrow's playing so well, Bijan's playing so well, Achan's playing so well. The wide receivers, though, hopefully you could get more out of them. So we go into the playoffs, and this is the situation because Team Chef Cesario and El Grenas both get a bye. Then you have some really good teams playing each other. I mean, you got Banditos El Professor. Those are 2 good teams facing off. And then you have Destin Lewin Electric, where I feel like the Electric is going to crush. So my predictions, I guess the only thing I could say is I did say Destin Lewin I think is going to lose that final playoff spot, but I knew it was an upset. Destin Lewin was in the driver's seat. All season I'm sticking with one and done being the narrative. So we look at the playoff matchups, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I think Electric is going to win by 40. Win by 45 even. So hopefully you could prove me wrong. Banditos El Professor is one of those games I have no idea. I actually just have no idea who's going to win that game. I said El Professor is going to make the playoffs, but it's not the year. I also said Banditos is a team that I love that started slow, but even when they were slower, I said I think they're going to be great. So I think if I'm sticking with that, Banditos is a team that I think is going to win. Banditos, though, I rated them 5th coming to the playoffs, whereas for the team they're playing against, for El Professor, I ranked El Professor near the bottom. I ranked them as a B, so an average team, but it wasn't high up. That was like 7th or 8th. So with that being said, I think I gotta go Banditos, but I think this one's gonna be a tight game. I think Banditos is gonna win by 11. So Banditos wins by 11. That's my prediction. We'll see if it comes to fruition. But yeah, again, not the most exciting final week, but the bye, there was something there. You made Destin the win stand up for themselves and maybe show, hey, maybe we're strong, maybe we're not one and done. There's a lot of interesting narratives now to pay attention to, so I'm excited. I'm excited for the playoffs. I'm excited for the drama. Give us some entertainment. I'll be following the whole way through, and I'll see you all next week to talk about it.